Welcome back. We just heard from the Ash Trojans, who were itching to make the deep postseason run they did in 2020. Now we are joined by one team who made it to the quarters last year and are hungry to make a run to the Dome. Joining us today is Leesville head coach Robbie Causey. Coach Causey, thanks for joining the show.
I appreciate y'all inviting me.
Coach Causey, you know, it's kind of hard to not kind of acknowledge this, but we know with the fires going on in Leesville, you've had to kind of balance helping out the community while also kind of balancing your own team and going into week one. How has that been?
Well, it kind of puts everything in perspective, really. You know, football is just a game. You know, you're talking about the things that our parish, Vernon Parish, Beauregard Parish, even Sabine, the southern part of Sabine, was going through. You know, at the blink of an eye, things can change. And so, you know, you just try to help the community when you can, be there in people's time of need. You know, we think what we're going through is pretty tough until you see those people in those situations, and it really just kind of puts everything in perspective to what is kind of going on and what they're dealing with. So a lot of sympathy, a lot of heart going out to the people who have been affected with it. But, you know, our community is strong, they're resilient. They've been over backwards to help one another, you know, seeing the community come out and to serve one another into the early mornings, you know, doing their best, you know, makes my heart proud. And, you know, that Wampus Cats are serving the community in a lot of different ways.
And so, but thank you for taking the time to come on, despite everything that is happening too. But let's talk about, go ahead, talk about the Jamboree. I know Corbett had his kind of sort of debut a little bit as starting quarterback since Parker Max graduated. How have you kind of seen him kind of take control of that offense and run with it?
Well, really, you know, each year you just look for the guys to kind of put their own stamp on it. Everybody's a little different. You know, the jerseys may not change, but, you know, the people inside of them, you know, wearing them, they have different strengths, different weaknesses. You try to adapt your scheme a little bit to those things. You know, he's done a really good job of managing the offense, you know, kind of insinuating his strength. He has a strong arm, you know, and so we're able to do a few things with the vertical passing game and just manage the new guys. You know, I think we had maybe 5 returning starters on the field Friday in the Jamboree, and it was good seeing those kids get their first really good action and to grow up a little bit. We got to grow up really fast.
And so I know we always talk about the weapons that y'all have. We always have to highlight Xavier Ford, knowing he is the #2 running back in the state. And you always talk about how not only is he a great player, but he's a great person. And so obviously having him back is a huge asset altogether. But not just talking about him, you have Isaiah, you have Michael, and do you think they make Corbett's job a little bit easier too?
Well, yeah, I mean, more weapons you have, the easier it is to call plays. You know,
True.
But really, it's just like we tell the kids, it's not what you do, it's just who you elevate. Mm-hmm. You know, we look for guys that bring everybody with them, elevate everybody, not just the guys on the field at the time, but just, you know, the 70 guys that we have on varsity. You know, what are you doing to improve everybody, whether it's on the field, it's in the classroom, off the field. You know, that's kind of what we're looking for with our guys, and we're starting to see within our program.
And then you mentioned also your defense. You were a little concerned, but, you know, guys like Evan Combs and a few other guys are making big plays at the Jamboree. What kind of confidence does that give you coming into the season?
Well, I think Friday we had 4 guys on the field that had any varsity action from the previous year, and so every play that they get is experience. Good or bad, you're learning a lesson. And so the more that they get exposed to, the quicker they'll be able to see it on Friday nights when it starts counting. And so that's what we saw. Just guys made mistakes, but it gives you a chance to teach. Number one, there is no failure isn't fatal unless you don't learn from it. And so I tell them everything that happens on Friday night is a chance for us to learn, and then it teaches us what we've got to do as coaches in order to create drills or scenarios in order to help them improve. You know, we fell on our end if we don't help them improve each and every day. If we talk about the process, it's not necessarily the importance of outcomes. You know, outcomes could be one-loss record, playing time, position, you know, how many times you touch the ball. Those are all outcomes that, you know, maybe somebody wants to put on social media. You know, those are things that we don't focus on. What we want to talk about is, are you doing the little things every day to be a better player and a better person in everything that we do, whether it's a rep in the weight room, a rep in a drill, practice, it doesn't matter. What we're doing is try to focus on doing a little bit extra every single day to improve ourselves, and when we can do that, then we'll see continued growth as the season goes along, and that's really our goal each and every day. Is Friday's going to be Friday. You know, we got to focus on tomorrow before we can worry about something that's happened at the end of the week.
And many of them said that their motivation this season has been what happened in the quarters last year, which led to the motto of tough people win. What about this group is different than any others?
Well, I really think it's just kind of the core values that they came up with, you know, that spelled out tough. You know, I mean, you see, you talk about it's trust, ownership, unity, grit, hard work. You know, they want to embody those things each and every day. Now, you're dealing with high school kids, you know, and so there's a lot of reinforcement, you know, a lot of accountability within it, and you want the kids to start holding themselves to accountability within their actions every day, because we can lead all we want to. At the end of the day, the motivation has to come from within them and the things that they want to accomplish. And again, it goes back to not worrying about the end result. Is, are you doing these things every single day? Life is going to throw so many things at you that you don't even know. You don't get to choose your problems. Let's talk about what's going on now on the western side of the state. Nobody got to pick that, but it's how you respond to the adversity that's coming. You know, I feel like football really is just a tool. It's just a game that we use to teach these kids how to take a boy to a man to create a champion for life. And that's really what I want to see with these kids, is that, you know, tough people do win. And I'm not talking the physical toughness, it's the mental toughness. You know, and our goal is in 20, 30 years that we have the next leaders of the community, good husbands, good fathers, businessmen, you know, employers, employees. You know, and that's really our ultimate objective. And that's our goal with what Tough People Win motto that we have.
And so we'll go ahead and pull up your schedule really quick. Of course, our KLB sports team has week 2, of course, against Gina, as we have that circled as one of our top matchups of the year. And we're ready to see the Coach Rowark, Coach Causey show. But do you have anything that sticks out, maybe?
Well, neither one of us need a brush.
Very true. Very true. But so I know that a lot of your players said the Iowa sticks out a lot. And obviously DeRitter sticks out a lot when you play for that trophy and everything, and you currently have the trophy too, right? So you definitely want to keep that. But what is anything that sticks out for you?
Well, you know, what we try to do is create a schedule that challenges each and every week. And, you know, and it starts with week 1. You know, our focus, you know, this weekend has been Jennings. You know, that's not to take away from anybody else on the schedule, because everybody brings something to the table. You know, you mentioned Coach Rourke and his staff at Gina do a phenomenal job year in and year out. One of the top coaches in the state. You know, that's not even talk Sinla. You know, and then you just keep going down the list. You know, Iowa was able to make a semifinal trip last year, and they do a phenomenal job. I could say that about every single school on our schedules, that they have really good coaches and really good athletes, and they prepare really well, and it makes you work. And so it's really, to me, it's just step 1 is looking at Jennings with Coach Fusilier running their flex bone option, and the kids that they have, they're so tough, they're hard-nosed, they're going to play hard. And it's just really focusing on that for tomorrow and just trying to improve each and every week. That'll take care of itself at the end. The end's going to be what it's going to be anyway, but you better make sure you take care of the first day before you worry about the last day, because the way we did our schedule, it's a tough schedule, and that's what you want. You know, you want to have those memories of going against some of the best in the state, and we've created that at Leesville.
Well, Coach Causey, thank you for joining us on Sportsnite, and we'll see you on Friday night, hopefully.
If we win, I'll let you come back.
Okay. And still to come on Sportsnite, we are staying on local